All right. Hi, and welcome to the business of being a virtual assistant. I'm your host, Tiffany Parson, and you're watching and listening to episode number 233. All right. We're going to talk about, I got my notes here, got it all laid out. 3 bullets. It's the last month of the year. What should we be doing? What exactly should we be doing since it's the last month of the year? I know you may be tempted to mentally go on holiday, but not yet. Before you do that, let's go over the list of something we should be doing. If this is your very first time listening to the podcast, thanks so much for listening. I'm so glad you found our podcast. And if you're a returning listener, thank you so much for returning and being a faithful listener to the podcast. All right, so what should we be doing this final month of the year? Cleaning house. Cleaning house is what we should be doing. Now, I don't mean your actual house. I am talking about your business house. So what do I mean when I say cleaning house in relation to your virtual assistant business? I mean, number one, your computer. And I got my computer here. If you're watching the video or you hear me making the noise, I got my laptop here. You want to clean out your computer. I am sure you have lots of things that you have downloaded, whether it's for yourself, your clients, whatever the case may be. You've got a lot of files, audios, videos, a lot of things that you have downloaded that have been sitting in your download box or on your desktop. Well, it's a good time to get that stuff cleaned up. Decide what stays and what goes. And if it stays, should it be moved off of your computer? Should you move it to Dropbox or Google Share or wherever you're storing your files? And you should have a place outside of your computer that you store and save things, because you just never know. You get a new computer, you want to be able to access the things that you're always utilizing. Again, whether it's for you or for your client projects. So you need to have somewhere outside of your computer to put them. If you are a Mac user, you know iCloud is a great place to store things. This way you can access it from any other Apple device, which is amazing. All right. A funny story about that is that I'm always learning something about my Apple products, and not too long ago realized that I've been downloading things. Say if I downloaded from my phone and it's saved, I was actually emailing myself. Say I download a PDF, I was emailing myself the PDF, not realizing that the PDF is in the download folder in iCloud on my computer. And I don't know if that was with the latest update or not, but one day I realized, wait a minute. This has everything from my iCloud. I think that was in a recent update. Recent meaning in the last year or two, and I'm just now seeing it. All right, number 2, because I got 3 bullets, and I just like list. So number 2, I want you to evaluate the tools that you've been using all year, whatever tools you use for your client projects, and what is working. So obviously, if it's been working, you're still using it, continue using it. But if it's something that you haven't used in a long time, decide, do I need to keep this or can I let it go for now? Remember, if it's something that you've been using for a while, but you're no longer using it, you can always go back. Now, if it's a free account, for example, perfect example, years ago, Hootsuite would let you have a free account and, it limited scheduling in bulk, I think was the only limit. And then they had like a $5 and it went up from there. Now Hootsuite it costs more than the $5 a month. So if you have the old style account for Hootsuite or whatever system, maybe it's Asana or something like that, based on their old structure, hold on to that. Don't get rid of that. But if it's something that's not a part, where they don't have a new payment structure, you're no longer using it. You can cancel it. You can come back to it later when you actually need it. And the last one, review the systems that you have in place for your business and for your client projects. If you don't have any systems, it's time to get the systems out of your head. You could say you don't have a system, but you do. It's just in your head. How do I know? I am a witness. I'm so used to working by myself that all of my systems are in my head. I can write it out real quick on a piece of paper as needed, but it's time to get that stuff off out of my head and onto paper so that when I am ready to hand off my duties to someone else, everything that's in my brain is on paper. Digital paper, actual paper, wherever you need to put it, but get those systems down. And for those of you that already have your systems all laid out, all written out somewhere, evaluate what's working, what's not working, things that you need to modify. Your systems are a living document that should always be updated, always reviewed, because things change. Nothing stays the same. You should be getting better. All of us should be getting better. The way you run your business should be getting more and more efficient as the time goes by from one client to the next. It should be getting better. So anyway, that's a little bit on what we should be doing this last month of the year. And I'm going to add a number 4 as a bonus. I want you to relax, give yourself grace, enjoy yourself, give yourself a pat on the back for all of your hard work that you've done this year or the last 6 months or the last 2 months, however long it's been that you have actually been working in your business. I want you to give yourself a pat on the back. Take a deep breath. You did an amazing job, and things are going to be even better next year. Now, the last thing I want you to do for me is I want you to post a comment in, this is so not authentic of me. I've been rolling along with this podcast. Let me tell you something. The hardest thing for me to do is ask you to do something for me. I'm going to ask you anyway. If you have never written a review for the podcast, do that wherever you listen to the podcast. Or if you're watching on YouTube, share with me in the comments what your favorite thing is about our podcast. If you're watching from Facebook, do the same thing. Share with me what your favorite thing is the podcast. I look forward to hearing from you. The reason why I'm asking you to do this is to help me get even better in the new year. Your feedback is important to me. When I get emails or direct messages from you guys that you're listening to the podcast, that you're glad you found it, it just does something to me. It gets me excited. It makes me feel good that there's at least one person on the other end of this listening and watching. So thanks so much. I appreciate you for taking the time out today to listen. You have a wonderful and fantastic day.